And as I was in prison talking to people, I couldn't figure out why so many people kept coming back.
And the big piece of it is that in order to have the person that's really in society, it's not just about a job, it's about support, right? Because that person's going to need all different types of services.
There are about 11,000 people released from prison, new incarceration, a year in Tennessee. Now, there are no numbers that say how many of those 11,000 come to Shelby County, but there's a lot. And yet there are just over 330 transition beds for those individuals.
In order for us to really be able, to experience reentry the way that we want and the second chance culture, that we really have to have people in positions of power that actually also believe in that too.
Today we are here for the third Southern Justice Summit, and we're going to be having a very special conversation about the importance of second chances.
This is where we really try as best we can to take a look at the most innovative approaches to criminal justice reform.
That means we view successful reentry through a labor-focused lens. The idea that if you can upskill folks, if you can get them while they're still incarcerated, you can get them connected to jobs, career paths.
I'm really, really excited to see where we've landed today. I started by saying we're going to have a conversation about second chances, and I want to make sure that I reiterate that. Sometimes people need a second chance. Once they've done the time, once they face the consequences, they want to have an opportunity to move forward with their lives.
In this role for the last 5 or 6 years, and at Shelby County Government, we've done our part to innovate in the area of criminal justice reform. Just a few quick highlights. We've done things like reorient our job readiness program at the Shelby County Office of Reentry. You may hear more about that. But a lot of the clients served there said it was hard to arrive at some of the programming because they were foregoing pay opportunities. And so we decided to pay folks that participate in our job readiness program, and I think that was a great innovation. And so we want to do and talk about what works here in Memphis and Shelby County and around the country. And often the kinds of things that work don't fit on a bumper sticker, right? They're really, really tough and challenging programmatic initiatives. And so I want to thank the speakers that you will hear from shortly.
I got into this kind of work because it's important work, but it's also personal work for me as well too.
My job is to introduce our keynote speaker, and we're so pleased to have her here in Memphis and Shelby County, and that's Keita Haynes.
It's so good to see all of y'all in here today. 95% of individuals that are currently incarcerated will eventually return home to their communities.
And in 2006, I was one of those individuals that I just mentioned, about 95% of them that will be coming home to their communities after living as 00017-011 for 4 years in federal prison for a crime that I did not commit. Only weeks after earning my degree in criminal justice and psychology from Tennessee State University, my parents dropped me off at the gates of Alderson Federal Prison Camp to begin serving an 84-month sentence for a marijuana-related offense.
Got out, went to law school, became a licensed practicing lawyer here in the state of Tennessee. And, I experienced a lot of the same barriers that folks experience when they're coming out of jail and prison through the reentry process. And so knowing that I have actually walked in those shoes that people are going to be walking in, it's important for me to go back and to reach those people and to walk along with those people, but also to tell the people that are in positions of power, like, this is what I would have liked to have had when I was going through the reentry process. And so this is what we need to do for folks that are going through this reentry process now. And so, people sometimes give up, right? And that's why we talk about the recidivism rate, and why the numbers are, because there's just so many barriers, and sometimes people don't have the support that they need to navigate these barriers.
we must reimagine reentry. But I know a lot of times we ask ourselves, well, how do we do this, right? And so in order to reimagine reentry, we will have to think in ways that many have not. We must move away from outdated systems and policies that focus on punishment as a tool and instead view reentry through a holistic lens that focuses on and appreciates the complexity and unique experiences of those directly impacted, thereby reducing harm and providing social, political, and economic stability for those transitioning back into our community.
I want to thank Mayor Harris. Mayor Harris was actually the first public official I told about Flip My Life.
God, whose house is this? It's yours.
I'm the co-founder, along with my husband Rick, of Flip My Life, which was a nonprofit project we completed last year, in which we renovated a house in Fraser. It was owned by Lifeline to Success, our good friend DeAndre Brown. They wanted to make it a transition house for people coming out of prison. And my husband is a contractor, so we said, we'll do it. And a year later, it is now serving, it can serve 6 individuals. I believe 5 are living there now. We will do it if you find a contractor with whom lab chemistry cares about reentry. And 3 months later, I was in my tiny hometown in East Tennessee with my 14-year-old daughter. I mentioned the boy I had a crush on in the 8th grade. She looked him up on Facebook. He and I reconnected, and I found out that he'd been a contractor for 30 years. And in 2008, when his business was failing, he, as he put it, lost his mind one day and he robbed a bank. He spent 3 years in federal prison.
I started looking at people in a different light. And prison changed my life over that. It was like, if you don't know what someone else's circumstance is, don't be judging them.
In addition to renovating the house, we also filmed the project. So we produced a 10-episode Flip show, which is really a show about criminal justice reform and restorative justice.
My name is Gerald Thornton. I'm Director of Human Resources for Shelby County Government.
As of today, I can say we got up to 210 people we've hired with criminal records.
So what I've noticed is, since I've been here in almost 3 years, is those individuals who apply, who have a criminal record, are actually punctual, they're on time, they're very mature, they need a job. And therefore, they're different than the average young employee, should I say, because they live through a lot. They're happy that we're taking an opportunity to hire them, and they're great employees.
We've recently rolled out our Work to Break the Cycle, which is our website that we recruit and promote jobs that are applicable to those with a criminal history. And so I want to get that on the record that if you're looking for a job with good pay and good benefits, Shelby County Government would love to hire you.
Most recently, we removed the driver's license requirement because there were a lot of jobs out there that required, or at least it asked for a driver's license, which was actually an impediment for individuals to apply for employment. Once they thought that they needed a driver's license, they would make application. They wouldn't complete their application. So we've abolished that as well.
So knowing there's a lot of infrastructure here in Memphis is a great model for us to use across the state.
My name is William Arnold. I'm a native Memphian. I serve as the director of the Tennessee Office of Reentry. I got into this work, by chance. It's just God. And in 2013, I was wrongfully convicted and sentenced to 25 years in the state penitentiary. I did 6 years, 9 months, and I got out on April 15, 2020.
We're the nation's first comprehensive statewide Office of Reentry. Through goals to help justice-involved individuals, people who've had touch points with the criminal justice system, overcome barriers to employment. We do this through a number of strategic ways, increasing awareness, tracking the data, particularly the wage data of those individuals and their ability to be employed, and also increasing the capacity of our staff across the state to do that job. With the idea of people can have successful reentry through a labor-focused lens, but also be able to reduce recidivism, which is the idea of people going back and forth to incarceration.
The idea that you can upskill folks, you need to get them while they're still incarcerated, you need to get them connected to jobs, to career paths. Then you got to refocus time, effort, energy, right? Because then you're not thinking about committing crimes. You're thinking about actually going to work, providing for your family, reuniting with your folks. So we actually do this through our American Job Centers. So our office creates the strategies, trainings, and programs. So some of the things we did from a strategic standpoint was we trained our staff across the state in our American Job Centers on how to work with justice-involved individuals. And just saying the word justice-involved individuals, it restores dignity, right?
So Shelby County also runs a division of corrections. And so behind the wall of that division of corrections, we have programs now for barbering. In fact, we have a full-scale barber shop. We might be the first in America with a full-scale barber shop in a prison.
No one, and I mean absolutely no one, leaves prison or jail unscathed.
People who are incarcerated are people. They're somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's dad. And many times we let the stigma of incarceration, the stigma of contact with the criminal justice system, preserve the way we look at people.
And from a community standpoint, we have to reduce crime and recidivism, and the best way to do that, the most cost-effective way to do that, is to help people get on their feet and build that productive life.